Just because you're a big content creator doesn't mean you know what you're doing, and just because you're a much smaller content creator does not also mean that you know what you're doing. All this and more, PrintFix Friday, episode 167. Let's get into it. Jumping right into today's problems, we've got a tweet here from my buddy Nero3D. Thanks for bringing this one to my attention, broski, saying, "Hey, Xiaomi, Mr. Who's the Boss. Nero's got it right. Resin is toxic. How did a sponsored video from a 20 million subscriber YouTuber promoting a resin printer get made with you just raw dog and cancer juice?" Which, honestly, the best way I have ever seen someone explain touching resin with bare hands. Raw dogging cancer juice. That's your corn cover band of the day. With bare hands walking around your set, letting it drip everywhere, promoting massively unsafe habits here. You know, I'm like, oh, it's a couple of... And that build plate is covered in resin. Just straight up, literally raw dogging the prints with his hands. And he got it all over his hands, according to the video. And we can see here that people like Maker's Muse and Uncle Jesse have pointed this out to him, saying, hey now, filament printers only look that bad when they fail. The resin printers are quite amazing for print quality, but definitely be careful around uncured resin. Don't touch it, and definitely don't wash it down the sink. It has huge aquatic toxicity, because remember, resin is toxic. And he said, thanks for the heads up, I should have paid more attention to the warnings. Yeah, you think? Let's watch this together real quick.
Let's have a look. Whoa! What are you doing up there,
Pretty
buddy?
normal for
That
resin
looks
printers.
Incredibly cursed. So you meant to unscrew this.
What? No, don't touch it!
Pull it out.
Don't do that!
Swamp on my hand.
No. This... Okay, I had not watched this video before filming this PrintFix Friday episode. Oh my god! Would you all like to see what you shouldn't do? This is precisely what you shouldn't do. You got 20 million subscribers, bro. Like, I get it. It's a business for you at this point, and Xiaomi likely paid you way more money than I make in a year to do this video, but it doesn't mean that you can just literally raw dog the cancer juice and pour it down the freaking drain. Resin is insanely toxic to aquatic life. It will give you chemical burns over time with exposure. Don't do this. And this video has 6.7 million views. Any stretch of the imagination, that is not acceptable. But let's continue upsetting Grant here.
It smells really bad. I've actually been holding my nose for the last 45 seconds, and we're probably going to need some industrial grade stuff to clean this room out.
So if it smells really bad and you've been holding your nose for the last 45 seconds, in what world did it make sense to, touch it? I'm a little bit upset by this. I deliberately did not watch this video until filming for PrintFix Friday, and I'm just a little bit upset. And by a little bit, I mean I'm a lot of bit upset about this. How did a company as large as Xiaomi not review this video and say, hey, bro, can you mind refilming this? Because this area is a little bit unsafe. And how did Mr. Who's the Boss not read the effing instructions, if there were instructions, and not look for an MSDS if that existed? And if it didn't exist from Xiaomi, go find a competitor product where you can clearly see that resin is toxic. Please, 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 please don't do this. Moving from someone who's got a ton of subscribers and clearly doesn't know what they're doing to someone that doesn't have a ton of subscribers and also clearly has no idea what they're doing. My name's Grant. This is PrintFix Friday, where we help you getting your printers back to printing with purpose. And yes, this next fail is about to be one of my own. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But if you are dealing with printer problems and you want some help, you can reach out to us on all the social medias, now including Blue Sky. Slide into those DMs and we'll do what we can to help you get your printers back running properly so you have less downtime and you're printing more purposefully. Even self-proclaimed YouTube idiots also get things wrong sometimes. I made a $65 or so error. My bamboo needs a new hot end. I promise this was not actually on purpose. So it got clogged pretty bad printing some Polyterra. Why Polymaker's Polyterra clogged the hot end so bad? Cold pulls, trying to force other materials through it, nothing would fix this clog. I tried. And traditionally, if you can't do a cold pull, if a hot push doesn't work where you're trying to just feed a different material through it, if none of those are working, you get kind of stuck and run out of options, and you gotta look at torching it. Now, I do gotta say here, and I think some of you will agree with me, and if you do, let me know in the comments, this looks pretty darn cool with the bluing and even the heatsink itself changing colors. That might have been because it was torched in an attempt to remove the clog, because like that's what you normally do with brass nozzles, you torch it. Unbeknownst to me, the tip on these is just kind of hot pressed in. I mean, I know this now, but some mistakes were made. Now the funny thing is, I wasn't holding it by the tip of the nozzle. I was holding it just like you see here with a pair of generic locking pliers as I was torching it, and while we did get it nice and hot, it actually didn't pop out until we tried to clear the clog. Here's how clogged this hot end actually was. When we used one of the Wham Bam ramrods, or at least that's what I'm going to call it, it's in their 3D printer toolkit. It's a tool designed to clear a clog in a hot end. It created such a good seal on the cold side, on the heatsink side tube, and when we pushed it in, it created enough pressure to pop out the nozzle of this Obsidian high flow, and it bounced across the garage, finally finding a home in the carpet, on the floor, on the set. I don't actually think the clog is cleared, but it's pretty upset. So, and now that we have it apart, I guess it makes good sense for us to do an entire video on this hot end, talk about it a little bit more, and tell you guys why I love it so much. And while it is a $65 hot end, why I'm going to put another one on the Bambu, because it is just so darn good. I'm back to using the standard 0.4 hot end that comes with the X1 carbon, and it feels like I'm now working with a machine that doesn't have input shaping. It's that much slower. The amount of time that I can save on projects by utilizing this hot end is just crazy. But I've never had one clog that bad with a material that's not abrasive. So we have no idea why this clogged up the way that it did. We have no idea how it clogged so poorly. And when we tried all the basic methods that we know to clear the clog, none of them worked. This is one of the downsides to these CHT style hot ends, where they split the filament up and they bring it back together. Yes, you get insane high flow. Yes, you get all these better features and things like that. But boy howdy, if you clog them, clearing the clog is pretty much impossible. I don't exactly have a way that we could have done this better, but if you know of one, please let me know in those comments, because I'm over here wondering what I could have done better. This is one of those situations where I didn't know what else to do, so I followed my traditional path of how we clear clogs with a regular hot end. In hindsight, this was not the right move, but it's why having spare parts on hand is really valuable. I was able to put a stock hot end back in the machine and continue to run the machine, albeit at a slower pace. Now, we do have this in a 0.6 as well, so if we wanted to actually just go up to the 0.6, we could have. Yeah, but I like the 0.4s personally. And I'll tell you, after running tons of carbon fiber through this thing, I've never had it clog up, and it just feels odd for it to clog up on, of all things, Poly-freaking-Terra. If you have a mixing hot end like this, whether you're using the brand new Prusa Mark IVs, or I guess now the Core 1, which we will have a video coming out on. No, I don't have one yet, but I'd like one. Come on, Prusa, you gotta know I want one by now. But I do want a kit. I think the kit would be a lot of fun to show on the channel. So if you do want to see stuff about the Core 1, make sure to get subscribed. There will be an upcoming video on it, as well as the brand new Prusa Slicer 2.9 that hit alpha earlier this week. But I do want to give a huge shout out to Kirkland Ranch Academy of Innovation, who had me out for the Great American Teach in this past Wednesday. In fact, I'm filming this right after being there. And that's why I'm in a polo and I'm fancy today. But it was awesome to be able to speak in front of, gosh, thousands of high schoolers and tell them about the ins and outs of the business, things that have gone right, things that have gone wrong, and hopefully inspired some young minds to think outside of the box. So thank you all for being awesome, allowing me to come out for the entire day and speak to pretty much the entire student body throughout the day. It was a lot of fun, and it was an absolute pleasure on my part. So all of you that actually paid attention when I asked you to take out your phones, leave a like and get subscribed as the viewers should have, comment below and let me know that you're from Kirkland Ranch so I can leave a heart on the comment or something. Thanks for being awesome. Because yes, I did absolutely shamelessly ask children to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Anyways, a huge thank you also goes out to all of our channel member supporters whose names are listed right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. Thank you for what you all do in making these videos possible. If you like this video and want to see more like it, you can click right below me to see the entire PrintFix Friday series, or right next to that to see our look at Maker Faire Orlando 2024. That is all we have for you all today. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. And apparently don't blowtorch your hot ends. Oops. Have a good one. Look, it's the cat. It's the cat. It's the cat. She's getting tired of my antics, but it's the cat. There's your outro.